It's my second full day in Paraguay, in the capital city of Asuncion, and already I've had to change hostels this morning. I've gone to a youth hostel. Look at this. I get away with being 18 just, and it has been pouring of rain all day, and only in the last half hour it's got a little bit better, so I thought time to come out. So I'm starting off in the Independence Square. I am moving around a lot, not standing still for much longer, because every time I do stop I get attacked by mosquitoes. I'm learning very fast that they like my blood. So Independence Square, you've got a little statue which has seen better days. The foundation of the Cathedral, 1537, and then getting independence in 1842. So because it's a Sunday, it's very quiet, and in the square itself it's fenced off all the way around, and I think there's only 3 entrances, just one down there, and one behind us. So I don't think like people coming in the night time. So the plan today is to go around the historical side, so all the way down there, and hopefully the mosquitoes will stay here in the park and not annoy me anywhere else. I've been bitten about 5 or 6 times already. I'd show you the blood, but it's not pretty. So the reason I changed hostel was the original one I stayed in, not the best. The first night I stayed in, there was fights at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that was the first sign that it wasn't the best place to stay. But hey ho, I'm in a youth hostel where it's not just young people, there is a few older travellers. So I'm going towards the cathedral now. Even that's got gates on, you can't get in. So the Metropolitan Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption, better known as Asuncion Cathedral, has its origins dating back to 1687, making it one of the oldest religious structures in the region. Now inside it's meant to be very, very ornate, lots of silver. Unfortunately can't get in. And then next door is the university, and then you can see the river all the way down there. And I'm lucky that I can stand long enough without getting bitten, so the mosquitoes are still in the park. Now Paraguay is one of them countries that people have heard of but don't know where it is. A lot of travellers don't come here. In fact, I was on the phone this morning texting one of my friends saying, oh, I'm in Paraguay, and the text came back was, where's Paraguay? And she knew I was in South America. She's very intelligent as well. That shows you how much people know about Paraguay, which is why I'm going to spend a couple of weeks going around the place, because there are other cities within the country that probably doesn't get any tourists at all. So I'm going to be going there going, surprise! But I'll probably do it in Spanish if I can. I've just discovered a 4th gate in the Independence Square. So this leads to El Cabildo, the cultural centre of the Republic. Now this used to be the seat of government for Paraguay, until 2004. Wow. And right at the top you can just see República del Paraguay. So I think this is a museum. And it is a museum, I've just checked, but mainly it's a cultural centre to preserve the Paraguayan heritage. And its main mission is to strengthen historical awareness and collect memories, enhancing its status as a building of monumental value. Now it is fenced off. There is a guard. Should I try and go in? Or leave it to another day? Because there is other things I want to see. I don't know how long the rain's going to be stopped for. And I don't know how many mosquitoes are planning on attacking me at the moment. It's got its own guard. Hola. So I found the people around here very, very friendly. They are a bit confused when I say, do you speak English? Mainly because I don't think they get many tourists, especially English speaking ones. That looks a bit funky, didn't it? Is that indigenous? Not too sure. Oh, and I found a fifth gate that's open. Let's have a wander in there. There's a tree with a plaque on it. Oh wow. There's a dog that doesn't like motorbikes. So you've got a massive tree trunk in this park, and that's quite high. So you've got a coat of arms, and then for some reason you've got a chain that goes around it, but it's a broken chain. So I'm assuming that it's to do with the colonial past, and the chain is meant to be broken as in set free from Spain. Who knows? Because I can't find anything online about it. Right, I've been stood still too long. I'm being bitten. So the cultural centre was the city government until 2004, and then this place took over. These are government offices. There's security for it. Hola. I was meant to be going to this park, but it's closed. Hello. There's a lot of cats around here. I mean, a lot of cats. Hello. No, you can't get in that one. Policeman just came up to me. Basically said, don't go that way. Dangerous. Okay. Yeah, it looked a bit dodgy down there. I just want to have a look in the park. That's all I was going to do. So that's General Lopez, and it's a name that I think I'm going to hear a lot of in the next couple of weeks while I'm here. Oh, bless him. He went, do you speak English? I went, yeah. Yeah, dangerous, don't go. So they're protecting the side of the building, but this is the main entrance. Look at that. That looks a bit better than the cultural centre. Very shiny. Now with Asuncion, like any other capital city in the world, you'll have your rough area and your modern area. So walking around here, not just the historical side feels a bit rough, but I've been told the modern area, which is on the other side of the city, is meant to be a totally different contrast to this place. So you can't blame with all capital cities that you do get the homeless. But anyway, I'm here in the Plaza de la Comuneros, and already there's nothing here, so I'm just going to go somewhere else. According to the map, I'm coming up to a very important place. There's police and army people down there, so yeah, definitely important. Oh, bloody hell, there's a man with a gun. Oh wow. So this is the Palace of the Lopez. Wow. Right, not too sure how close I can get, especially with a military guy with a weapon next to us. Let's get a bit closer around the side. So I've asked them guys if I can have a wander getting closer to the Palace of the Lopez, and they went, no, stand on the street. So it's because this is the official workplace of the president of Paraguay. I mean, he's not in at the moment, it's a Sunday, unless he is working late. So this was built as a residence for the president's son in the mid 1800s. And this was designed by a British architect. But then Paraguay got dragged into what basically is the biggest war in its history, the War of the Triple Alliance. And that was Paraguay against Brazil, Argentina and Uruguay. And it absolutely devastated this country. And this palace got looted, it got damaged, and the guy it was built for never even lived here. But it's been rebuilt, and at the moment there's been loads of people just slowing their cars down and just taking lots of pictures of it. But this is classed as the most important building in the country. And already the rain's starting to come down. The clouds have got very, very dark very quickly, and that poor soldier is going to get very wet. Now I'm not too sure, I think there's another park further on down here. There's a couple of guys that's just walking further and further in past the trees. I think that policeman's got a bit excited about it. He kept staring at me. So I think I should head back to the hostel before it really pours down. It's only a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes walk. I am planning on being here a bit longer than usual. Mainly because if you are a regular follower of me, you know for the last few weeks, months, tooth is starting to hurt more. Not good. So I'm tempted to see a dentist tomorrow because it's a Monday. Look at that mural. That's beautiful. Oh God, this rain's coming down now. I might have to find a coffee shop just to keep myself dry, mainly because my camera is not waterproof, which is why I'm walking against the wall. But yeah, so I'm gonna have a wander to a dentist. The broken tooth has got broken a little bit more, It's not painful. Oh, a tree. It's just a very dull ache. It's not good. So yeah, but I am going to have a wander along the waterfront tomorrow. It's meant to be good. I'll check it out on the. It's only because of people telling me it's worth going down. So I'll be in the next video. So if you've enjoyed this little walk around, enjoyed me getting bitten by mosquitoes, so I'm just trying to keep away from the rain, then all you gotta do is press that like button. But if you want to see more of this capital city, more importantly Paraguay, learn something new about a country you've never heard of, then all you got to do is subscribe. But until the next time, I might have to start running in my flip-flops. Bye bye for now.